Welcome back, you lovely bunch. Thanks for tuning again. Oh, it's another grey day today. It's been a grey weekend, you know. I think the summer in the UK is pretty much, that's it, we're done. The rain has started, the muddy rides are going to start. I've just built a white bike with white bar tape, so let's see how long that stays white. But I don't want to start off on a moan, even though I just did start off on a moan. But you know what I mean, right? When the weather changes from being sunny to going grey and rainy and very English. We've had our 3 weeks of summer this year, so let the rain commence. Being honest, I don't really mind a bit of rain. I've got like good wet weather gear. Whilst I prefer not to have to clean my bikes all the time, with disc brakes and all that stuff, it's just easier. You don't have to worry about like destroying bikes as much. Bikes are more durable now, right? So with electronic gears, disc brakes, all this stuff, right? Perfect winter bike, innit? So like a few years ago, your winter bike would be a bit of a beater, like an old frame you had and you just threw a few parts in it. Whereas now with like disc brakes and electronic gears, everything lasts a lot longer. So your rims aren't going to get ruined when you ride them in the rain. They're just going to get wet. Your discs might take a bit of a beating. But let's be honest, disc pads are a lot cheaper than new rims or new wheels. No gunk getting in the cables because it's all electronic. My hand's just going crazy. So it's just easier. There's less maintenance. So you can now ride a nicer bike in the winter. I did just build up a bike. Feel free to tell me I suck down below, guys. And feel free to tell me that you hate me for this. So I finally, look, in my box, it's not actually a Henry Hoover. It is my completed Ultegra DI2 group set to put on my new Stayer bike, which is a bit more exciting than a Hoover, let's be honest. Not this week, but next week, the plan is to go to Stayer. I haven't actually asked them yet. I should probably ask them. Build my bike, do a bit of filming around their workshop and their space and show you some of their really cool frames and their bikes. So Stayer make my wheels. They have made me a crit frame to race on. And obviously with the whole pandemic and parts being so delayed. So it's taken me pretty much a year to end up with a full DI2 group set. So I have a massive box full of stuff to go and build up my new crit frame, but that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today. What I wanted to talk to you about today is another bike build. Yeah, okay, hear me out, right? I know I've just built a road bike, and yes, I am going to build another road bike, but it's a crit bike. It's not aired towards climbing. It's definitely more of an aggressive geo racy frame. It's going to have massive deep wheels on it, and it's going to be fun to ride. But I might have acquired another frame set. And hear me out, right? So the Windspace is one of the more expensive frames to come out of China. It's like UCI legal. So mine is $1,580 painted, right? And someone did mention in the comments that there are other brands that do frames that are actually considerably cheaper. So I figured, why not show you the other side of it? You have this $1,500 frame. So how does that compare to one of the cheaper frames out of China? That's essentially what I'm going to chat to you about today. Somebody mentioned Trifox. They're a company based in China. They do carbon frames. They do mountain bike frames. They do a lot of different frames. And let me just show you. Look, here we go. This is... I'm sorry. Yes, another frame to build. Let me just show you this. So this... Can you see that? Looks quite nice, right? It's got a very, very fetching paint job. I'll give you some close-ups in a second. But, yeah, so, Trifox, T800 carbon layup, right? I'm not going to pretend I know lots about carbon. I've got no idea about it, to be honest. And any of you guys that know a lot about carbon layup and the carbon weave and that whole process, I really appreciate your feedback down below. Is there a massive difference? So, my Windspace is T800 and T700 carbon, I believe. And this is T800 carbon, right? The price of this frame is $689. The price of my Windspace is $1,580. That's a massive, massive difference. That's nearly $900 difference in pricing between this and that. So it's a disc road frame. It's through axle. it's pretty much, I don't want to say it's exactly the same as the Windspace because I haven't compared them and it's not like a fair comparison, But essentially it's the same spec. It has the same T800 carbon. And is the T800 carbon in this going to be the same as the T800 carbon in that? This I genuinely don't know, And this is why it'd be really nice for you guys to let me know. Can you weave T800 different, or is that just it, So are they essentially made out of the same material? That's what I want to know. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is how they ride. I've just built up my road bike, my SRAM E-Tab group set on it. So what do I put on this? So I'm going to have to work out what parts to put on this bike. Let me know down below. Obviously it's impossible to get parts at the moment as well, so that is going to delay this whole process. So I might not cylinder parts off my Windspace to build this frame up. So I might as well just talk you through this frame quickly. So this is by Trifox. It is the Speedster X16. See, so you've got a name and a number just to make it super speedy. you know. Honestly though, paint job, check this out. Can you see this? I just want to show you guys. This is, I mean, it's pretty clean, right? I'll give you like a proper look. For a cheaper frame, sometimes you see like in certain areas, there'll be like a bit of chipping on the paint, or there'll be a few runs, or it won't be perfect. But honestly, I mean, this chameleon purpley colour that kind of goes blue in certain light, I mean, it's going to look banging in the sunlight. So it's got a threaded bottom bracket. You guys know I prefer a threaded bottom bracket. It just makes life so much easier when doing builds. It does have all the tube in here, so if you do want to run cables, you can put the cables straight through. So in the box you do get like your seat post, you get the headset, you get obviously a frame and fork, and then you get your carbon steerer bung and expander thing. I'm going to be honest, it's not as refined as a setup you get from Windspace. So with the Windspace you get these replaceable tabs, so if you are not running cables you can like put in this little, essentially this little expander that hides the hole. So that's really neat with the Windspace. So it is a little bit less refined than the Windspace, but you'd expect that. It's like 900 bucks less, you know? So you do get charged import duties with these frames. So I got charged, so for the frame and fork and the wheels of the Windspace, I got charged £69. And for this, for some reason, I didn't get charged import fees. I don't know if I'm gonna get a bill later on at some point, but I'm quite pleased. I didn't get an import charge on it. I think it's kind of hit and miss, you never really know. So I'm looking forward to building this up. I want to know how it compares to the Windspace. So I know internally carbon frames, they can be vastly different. There's various ways to make a frame out of carbon. But you know, I'm just interested to see. So this is $689, right? Will it feel any different to my Windspace? I've got no idea. I'd like to think that you could feel the difference on the Windspace. I suppose the only way to directly compare it to the Windspace would be to take everything off the Windspace and put it on this. But I'm gonna be honest, I need to ride the Windspace a bit longer before I start taking it apart. Or do I build it as like this flat bar road bike just to annoy people? Should we weigh it as well? Let's weigh it. On their site it just says super lightweight, which is very like non-specific, so we need to know. Okay, and that's 1,855 grams. Already it is substantially heavier than my Windspace. So there's definitely a bit of extra weight on this. That's what you pay more money for, right, in cycling. I think they worked out the cost of losing a gram, you know, and how much it would cost you per gram. My maths is bad, but basically if you want a lighter bike, you have to pay more money. That's the way that it looks. So I do wonder what weight this would come in at if we put like all the same parts on it. Like, I think my Windspace comes in at like, was it 7.8, 7 point something. I've got a feeling if we put all those parts on this bike, that this might be, well, obviously it's going to be heavier because it's a heavier frame and fork, so it would be heavier. So I'm super interested to build this up. I did want to show you guys, because I did get a question actually about Trifox and what I thought of their frames, and honestly, there's a lot of different companies that make frames that are based in China, and I think it's a bit of a minefield finding out which ones are good, which ones are not. Like, YouTube now makes it a lot easier, and there's a lot of reviews, and there's a lot of like vloggers that are like reviewing these frames, but I'm still interested to see personally, like, is there a massive difference like in the feel? Buying this frame and fork, it is substantially cheaper from buying a frame and fork from certain larger brands. But is it worth it? Because, you know, I don't want to tell you guys, go and buy this frame, it's super cheap, and actually, it doesn't ride that nice, you know? I'm not saying it's not going to ride nice, I just need to ride it to let you know exactly what I think of it. But right now, paint job's nice, slightly heavier than my other frame, like to be expected. The Trifox Speedster S16 or the Trifox X16 Speedster, let's see how speedy it is. First impressions though, yeah, it does look nice. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!